Is Lake Fairview a good place to invest in waterfront real estate? We're going to talk about next. So 20 plus years ago, you could buy a waterfront home on Lake Fairview in the 300,000s. And fast forward to where we are right now, and you're paying typically upwards of seven figures just for the dirt. And we're going to talk about whether or not that makes Lake Fairview a good buy for you currently and what I think the future might hold for it. Lake Fairview is just outside downtown Orlando. It's mostly considered to be in the College Park neighborhood, a little bit to the north of Orlando. It's about, most of the properties on Lake Fairview, you can get to downtown Orlando in probably less than 10 minutes or so. Lake Fairview has historically been known way back when, before Orlando really became what it is today, was mostly surrounded by citrus groves, and later became known as a very popular ski lake back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And there's some features about Lake Fairview that really help it stand apart from the rest of Central Florida waterfront properties. There's a real mix of property types here. You've got College Park, which is one of Orlando's most sought after neighborhoods on the south side of the lake. You've got residential up along different sections of it, really more towards the south. You also have some on the north. And then you have an interesting combination of business addresses, commercial properties on Lake Fairview as well. You've got grills, Lakefront Seafood. There's a marina, Lake Fairview Marina. There is a public boat ramp. There's a couple crew houses that have all sorts of history attached to them. And there's also one of Central Florida's top wedding and event venues in the Cottage over on the east shore. So a lot of things going on in Lake Fairview. The water depth is, it's a nice water depth for all sorts of boating activity. There's large bass out there. And it is just, there's a reason why this lake has really popped in the last 20 years in terms of what we're seeing in the property values. So I've lived in College Park for over 25 years, and I've seen significant change just since I've been here. Going back further beyond that, Lake Fairview was originally, I would kind of describe it as a working class lake just outside downtown Orlando. A lot of smaller cottages, fishing camps, and many of the homes were built, kind of your older 50s through 70s ranch style Florida homes that were built on these properties. A lot of them larger properties than you can find throughout the other downtown districts. And these things kind of laid the framework, the groundwork, so to speak, for allowing this lake, both the proximity to downtown and the lot sizes and the water quality and size of the lake really kind of positioned it well to take off, which is exactly what's done these past few years. To understand the turning point for Lake Fairview, I would focus on College Park. College Park used to be a fairly sleepy, older downtown community. It was always kind of on the outskirts. It sits to the west of Winter Park, which had a lot more name recognition, a lot more high-end homes. And College Park was always off to the west. And that started to change about 20 years ago. And you started to see the population, the demographics, and the property values of College Park really start to take off. And that kind of flooded north into Lake Fairview because all of a sudden it was one of the, what looked like a real bargain for waterfront property if your next best option is Winter Park. And over the last 20 plus years that I've been in business, we've seen a transition from smaller, more modest homes where buyers will come in and buy them and update them, maybe expand them. And then as the property values continue to increase beyond the value of the actual house itself, now it's almost a foregone conclusion that these original homes on Lake Fairview, that might sell maybe occasionally below $1 million, are most often getting scraped, and you're seeing some fairly large, beautiful lakefront homes going up on these waterfront properties. I'm using a time lapse here on Google Earth to try to show you what has changed. Now, this is the Inner Lake neighborhood. That's a distinct neighborhood on Lake Fairview. It also has waterfront properties that are on Lake Sarah and some of the smaller coves of Lake Fairview. But looking at these aerials, if you can see where the footprint of the houses started getting bigger, going back from, I think that's 2004 up to 2025. And again, it speaks to these homes being purchased, scraped, torn down, and newer, larger, more expensive homes going up in their place. And you can see just driving down Inner Lake in here, absolutely stunning neighborhood, beautiful homes, large, deep lots, and it really has a specific, feel and vibe to it that you can't get anywhere else in College Park, and has really become College Park's, premier waterfront neighborhood. So So what do the property values look like right now in 2026 on Lake Fairview? Well, there have been some sales in the $3 million range. As mentioned earlier, you're probably, if you're not at $1 million, you're not far below that as far as kind of an entry-level price point to get on the lake. There's some stuff every once in a while that will cut loose, 7, 8, 900,000. But again, those are almost always going to be teardowns for a new home to go up. And there are some properties there, no recent sales, but if I were to guess some of the newer homes that have gone up on Lake Fairview, I would say there's probably some push in values close to $4, maybe even $5 million. So again, what is it that makes Lake Fairview so different? Well, it's 400 plus acres, one of the largest lakes in Central Florida. The water clarity is fantastic. It's nice, clear water. It's got a nice sandy bottom. Depth averages about 18 feet. There's some areas of the lake that get down to 30 feet. You've got nice, wide open views across the water, which, plenty of room to ski, water sports. There's a lot of opportunities out there. You can still find some quiet coves and space to fish no matter what else is going on the lake. You've got the public boat ramp. You've got one of the only restaurants that you can actually boat up to in Orlando at Grills, and they've got live entertainment there. It's kind of a fun, very relaxed, family-friendly spot to hang out. You've got the Marina. You've got the crew teams out there, and it just has a vibe and an energy you can't get anywhere else. So what's my crystal ball say? Well, I don't see anything that's going to slow down the increase in property values on Lake Fairview. You've got, as you hear all the time, they're not making any more lakefront. You've got scarcity. It's really driving the equation. You've got the proximity to downtown Orlando. You have some beautiful homes. You have extremely walkable neighborhoods throughout most of Lake Fairview. You've got all these other options on the lake that you don't have anywhere else that we talked about. And, a pretty shoreline, nice water quality, really kind of everything that people are looking for in waterfront living. So my prediction is that we're going to continue to see Lake Fairview turnover. The older homes are probably going to continue to make way for larger construction. You're going to see the lake continue to become more affluent and see the values continue to increase. So that's Mike Derenthal's take on Lake Fairview. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe down below. If you want to see something else or want some more, want me to go deeper on something, mention it in the comments. I'd love to do this kind of stuff. We've got more videos coming. And if I can help you out with your waterfront search here in Central Florida, you know where to go. FloridaLakefront.com. I'm Mike Derenthal. Thanks for watching. Bye. Mike Derenthal, FloridaLakefront.com. Enjoying a gorgeous day out here in Lake Fairview in the downtown Orlando area. Thanks for visiting the top ranked